All right, hey guys, Brian here, Learning Silver and Gold. I just want to do an update on some. I did get a little bit of silver today, not a ton, but I got these 5 coins today at one of my local shops, and I didn't have a ton to spend, obviously, but just had a little bit. And as you can see, I was really kind of focused more on like 90%, and I in particular, Peace or Morgan dollars, whatever I can find at a good deal. And I ended up getting a pretty good deal, I think, especially looking online last night a little bit at some prices. Online, a lot of things, if you can even find these on some sites, it's like $30 to $36 per coin on a lot of these online. And of course, it goes up from there if you're trying to get into the, fine or extra fine, things like that. But I don't really mess with all that. But these three Peace dollars, they were $29 each. Okay. And then these two were $25 because of the condition. But I thought even the Morgan wasn't that bad. They had actually a couple others that were worse than that even. And so this one was kind of beat up, but I was going to get another one of these, but I only had 140 cash. And so this ended up being 137 altogether. And so I just thought, well, I didn't want to have to use my debit card for $1 plus the fee there. But more than that, it's just, I don't need the government in my business and knowing my transactions everywhere. So I'd rather just pay cash and not have them looking at my transactions at all. So, but yeah, so 137, and I was noticing though at this shop, and usually their prices are pretty reasonable there actually. And the Eagles were 14 over spot, and I was really shocked because I'm not really into that stuff anymore, the high premium stuff. And but it's really shocked me because I remember not months ago when I was still into kind of going locally and stuff, before being unemployed for a while. I remember them going up to like 8, 9, 10 and 10 over, and I had not seen 14 yet. So I was just man, I was really shocked. So but with that said, so I got these five for 137, $137. If I were to do five, Silver Eagles, you're talking right now, you'd be sitting at, a little over 35 per coin, right? A little over 35 an ounce. And so that's $175 that I would have spent versus 137 for these. And people can argue that, yeah, I mean, you're getting a full, you're getting a full ounce on the Eagles. True, you're getting a full ounce. But you're also paying a heavy premium for that. And then so these obviously aren't a full ounce and they're 90%. But there's also some kind of nostalgic value to Peace dollars and Morgans, and also I just don't see these like these aren't going to plummet anytime soon. Not that the Eagle would plummet per se, but if the silver price were to plummet back down to like 15 or 16 an ounce, it's going to it'd be kind of a little tricky if you had to turn around and sell. Then then I don't either the premiums would have to keep shooting up in order to make up for it at some point. Or you're going to be basically losing your shirt if you had to turn around and sell it for whatever reason, for emergencies and stuff. Whereas I don't see, even if silver were to plummet somewhat, I don't see this types of coinage. I don't see plummeting. They might drop a little bit, but at the same time, they're kind of getting more and more rare as you move forward. When you've got coinage that's in the 1920s, and stuff. So it's older currency that kind of tends to retain its value. They're very durable. I don't have to worry too about, I'm not too worried about like holding these. I don't have to get my cotton gloves out, or I'm not going to waste a bunch of money on capsules, things like that. I mean, the whole point of this is if I need to move it, I can move it. If I need to use this to, like I said, pay for some food for my family, and, I'm not worried about it. I can stack them. I can do whatever I want with them. I'm not I'm not going to be too stressed out trying to baby this. Now my gold, my 33 gold, that's a little bit different. On those, I do buy the capsules for the gold coins, just to keep them a little bit nicer on those, but on 90% and stuff, and even on my bullion that I do have, my silver bullion, I just keep in the regular tubes, but mostly I have it in there, or I have it in plastic bags and stuff. So, but just some things to think about, and always consider the premiums, and then, can you get, what's the likelihood you're going to get, most or all of your money back in terms of dollars if you had to sell it, within months or a few weeks. What's the odds of you getting your money back? So it's something to really think about as you're investing into this. And so that's where I really feel like the 90% is kind of a really good place to be in the silver market. With also, like I said, I've got some silver bullion. I've got some buffaloes and stuff too. I think I think you're still, it can be a market there. I think it's still good, even more so than the gold bullion, in my opinion, and stuff. So there's things to think about. And then also, I wanted to do a quick update on my IRA. Okay, so I mentioned in the last video that my gold and silver IRA, that I was talking to them about getting some metals delivered to me. And I talked to my rep yesterday and sent over the paperwork. And so in talking to him, it's, we're going to end up doing I'm going to get back 10 gold coins that are, they're 1/4 ounce. It's a New Guinea spade coin or something. I've never even seen it before. But that's what we picked when I originally set up the account, and it's been in a vault. So obviously I haven't even touched these things yet. So I'm going to get 10 of those, and I'm going to get 80 silver of these spades, which those are 1.25 ounces each. So it's 80 coins, so it's basically 100 ounces of silver. So I'm basically reclaiming all of the silver out of the account and some of the gold. Okay. And that made sense to me. Once we did the numbers, it made sense. And I was kind of looking at a certain spot to be, for tax burden. Since I was unemployed, I kind of factored in about right around that 6,000 to 7,000 tax liability. Won't affect my taxes for the year that much. Okay, it might swing it 1,000 here or there, but it shouldn't affect me much in the grand scheme of things. And then I'm able to get it out of there. And really, my point was, when I had put it in the IRA in the first place, was I was trying to find a way how do I get this money out of this crazy stock market, out of this crazy stuff that's falling apart. And when I got laid off, well, that gave me the green light to at least move it. And I didn't necessarily want to. I contemplated just doing a distribution, taking the money down to the shop and buying stuff. But if you do that, again, you do get taxed, and there is a penalty on there. Since I'm not 59 and a half or older, then there's a 10% penalty. So you have to kind of factor that in too. And again, it made more sense right now. I think it's worth it. And then now next year, hopefully this will happen in the next few weeks or so. We'll see once I get the actual metals. I'll do an update video on the metals once I get that too. And then, another thing is too is I'm probably not going to hold on to them too long. But like I said, I'll plan on doing a video of it, and then I'll probably going to quickly move it with some of my local reps here, and switch it out for stuff that I actually stack, just because I don't really do those. So it's just not my area of with doing that kind of bullion. I'd rather move it over to like I said, 90%, maybe a little bit of silver bullion, and pre-33 gold, things like that, which is what I really focus on. And so that's probably what I really plan on doing and stuff. So and I've been eyeing some rolls of mercury dimes online. There's an online website that I'm checking out. I've been checking out for a while. And they do some nice, pretty good pricing on stuff like that, and pre-33 gold, Mexican coins, things like that. So I'm been eyeing them. I haven't used them yet, so I'm not going to recommend them or anything until I've used them and tried them out and see how they do with customer service, delivery, packaging, those kind of things. before I would recommend a site to anybody. So I don't want anyone to get burned on a recommendation I made. But if and when that time comes, then I will definitely update everyone and let you know my experience and stuff. So, but once that stuff comes in, like I said, I'll make a video and then I'll probably quickly flip it into stuff that I actually stack, and then yeah. So for other thought is this first quarter I might do one more transaction and then finish taking the rest of my gold out of the IRA. That's one thought. I'm not 100% there yet. Obviously, I would get hit with a tax penalty for 2023 for that as well. But by breaking it up year to year, it may not be too big of a hit. I hope I won't even feel it. And by the end of 2023, who knows? We may not even have a country left. I don't know. So, or maybe the economy's kaput by fourth quarter next year. Who knows? And stuff. So, and then also I was thinking too that, my first year for the IRA was paid for the fees for storage, right? And it was, I can't remember if it's $200 or something like that, or 150 or something like that a year. And so, if, the other thought is like, well, so, if I keep the money, I have to pay going forward, I got to pay that fee as well out of pocket every year. And I don't, as we say in silver or in stacking in general, as we say, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And so, with those kind of thoughts, it's like, well, maybe I just better get it out of there as best I can, and I can at least divide up the penalty and the hit over a couple of year span, and not affect me as much, right? And just get them totally out of the market, totally out of the banks, because I do worry about government confiscation at some point when this the show ends, right? Stage left. So for the whole economy basically. And so just in preparation for that, that's kind of where I'm leaning, and that would I would pull the next round, would probably pull the last of my gold out, have it delivered to me, and that would be the end of the IRA basically, unless I were to leave a little bit in there. If I were to leave something in there, or a few dollars, I guess, but I don't think it'd be necessary. I don't foresee needing it again at this point, but I don't know. That's something I can talk to my rep about if there's a way to leave the account open. So just in case, if I want to move some more money, like in my current employer, I'm on the 401k there. I went ahead and set it up just because it was easier just to set it up, put a little bit of money in there just to set the account up so I have it. So then I can always add into the 401k if I want to down the road. But I actually turned it off the other day as far as my contributions out of my paycheck. I put it back down to zero because I'm just like, even if it's 50, $100 a paycheck coming out, it's pre-taxed, but a lot of times that stuff, it was like, even before it was like negative, my returns were just pathetic. And so it's just a waste at that point, it just becomes a waste of my money. And so even what's sad is, even with the employer match, a lot of times if you look at the numbers, it just doesn't make sense, anymore. So it's kind of, the whole thing's kind of falling apart. And so it's like, I'd rather take that $50 and go down to my local LCS and get a couple of silver coins, to put in my stash. If that's the case, I'd rather do that and actually get real money for monopoly money. So they can have the monopoly money all day long. They can have that. It's just a matter of time before the shoe drops on the economy and the dollar. What's sad is that with we've seen this other countries with Venezuela's, Zimbabwe. Over the years, Greece, several years back, they had a whole banking crisis. I remember people were trying to, they were basically shut the banks down. People couldn't get their money out of the banks. They were rioting and all that. Maybe been 3 or 4 years ago, I think. And, right now, Britain, over there, England and Britain, all that are really kind of starting to go through some things over there financially. So we're seeing it happen, all around the world. And what's sad is I'd heard that like Venezuelans, in order to, people, as your currency collapses, people are looking for a way out. People are looking for something to an asset to put their money into. And, one of the problems is that, sadly, a lot of the Venezuelans were putting money in the U.S. dollar. okay, because the dollar was stronger, than their local currency. And while I get that, I understand that. I mean, you're going to do what you got to do, to try to survive at that time, and whether it's CBDCs or whatever. But it's really sad because it's going to be really eye opening when the dollar collapses. Then what? Sadly, these people are gonna get burned again. And so talk about losing faith in something. Would that not like really rattle your faith in monopoly money? It would for me. And so I feel really bad for people like that. That's really not seeing the light, so to speak, and not not learning the lesson basically about fiat currencies and how corrupt they are and how they steal your wealth, how they destroy the middle class, all those things. So just very disheartening on that. But yeah, just a quick video. Like I said, I didn't have a lot to spend today, and but just some thoughts, and then I will. My next video hopefully will be. It'll probably be when the stuff comes in from my IRA. Like I said, I won't hold it very long, but I'll do that to kind of show and also let you know my experience from the IRA. So if other ones out there are in the same position I was in, where you had stuff stuck in a 401k and you want to move it, but you're like I said, it was very, very stressful for me when that was going on, because I just you're very limited on what you can do with the money, right? And that's one way they kind of trap you into the markets. As an American, they use that that 401k scheme. They use that to kind of force you to buy in. They got to they want get them. Of course, they try to there's really no promises there, but they pretend that oh, you're gonna this is for your retirement, blah blah blah, and there is no retirement anymore because of the destruction of the fiat currency. It's there's no retirement unless you prepare on your end with actual true assets, gold and silver, homesteading, those kind of things is really the only retirement, if you will. You've got to have a way to make a living, make ends meet on your own. So, all right, be blessed and Messiah, and talk to you soon. Okay.